Rumors, slanders, lies begin to spread like wildfire, invading the World Wide Web, and they will immediately distort the tragedy of September 11. Example: thousands of Jews were warned by Israeli intelligence not to go to the Twin Towers on September 11. Another example: the collapse of the Twin Towers and Tower 7 were said not to have been caused by the impact of the Boeing and the ensuing explosion and fires. They were said to have been mined with explosives at the behest of US authorities. These rumors would gain the favor of people from all walks of life. Originally propagated by America's right-wing and left-wing extremists alike, the rumors eventually proliferated around the world, including in Arab Muslim countries and even in many European countries. And with Flight 77, they will even take the 9/11 conspiracy theories to new heights. In this frenzy, a Frenchman will play a rather significant role. Thierry Meyssan, a former left-wing activist and environmentalist. He would eventually find common cause with the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. In 2002, Thierry Meyssan wrote a book on September 11 entitled The Big Lie. A book that, under the guise of innocent questions, recycles some of the most inflammatory rumors, even suggesting that no plane ever crashed into the Pentagon. When asked what happened to Flight 77, his reply was, "Are these passengers really even dead? And if so, who killed them and why? If not, where are they?" A 115-ton Boeing 757 with a 38-meter wingspan allegedly struck the facade and crashed into the building. This is obviously impossible. And the problem we have here is the way the FBI and the Department of Justice immediately identified the culprits. There really wasn't ever any kind of investigation, criminal or otherwise. The culprits were allegedly identified and they just went on the hunt for the accomplices. Such nonsense could feed into some of the conspiracy delusions found on certain well-known social networks on the internet. But in March 2002, Thierry Meyssan will do one better. He'll get his 30 minutes of fame on a widely viewed French talk show hosted by Thierry Meyssan. Everybody's talking about it, one of the flagship programs at the time of the France 2 network. You have a questionable guest, no one to contradict him, a popular host, and a captive audience, ripe for spreading disinformation. As a result, the show gets huge ratings and it transforms a web of lies into established truths and takes society by storm. The next day, there's a mad rush to get the book. We are open on Sundays. We had over 1,000 requests, so if we had 1,000 books, they all would have been sold. And then we sold between 500 and 600 per day the first 4 days, and then 150 per day over the past 10 days. It really is the book everyone's raving about. People have been calling us from Paris and 50 kilometers away. People were willing to drive 40 kilometers to pick up this book. I've never seen anything like this before. 100,000 copies will be sold in the weeks to come. With 250,000 books sold in France in all of 2003, The Big Lie will become the best-selling political book of the year. 9 months later, in a belated yet very telling moment of clarity, host Thierry Meyssan will offer a harsh self-critique in the French daily Le Monde. It was a lapse of professional judgment on my part. There is no other way to describe it. I should have never invited him on, and I should have immediately recognized that I had done something stupid. Too little, too late. The damage is done. The rumor thrives on rampant anti-Americanism and becomes a social phenomenon. But why? Why hadn't these images of debris filmed on the scene of the crime put these rumors to rest? Above all, why give Thierry Meyssan and his followers a public arena to claim repeatedly that no trace was ever found of the passengers of Flight 77 at the Pentagon? Yet it had been known for months that the remains of 58 of the 59 passengers taken from the scene of the crash were identified by their DNA. How could it be possible to dismiss autopsy reports provided to families like the pastor's sister Kincaid? An aggregate of femur, upper chest wall, medial clavicle, and teeth, a left mandible with 4 molars, a 750-gram aggregate of skin, a 350-gram of soft tissue and bone. Nothing works. Neither the evidence at hand nor the pain of the victims is able to counter the lies, quite the opposite. The big lie is published in 40 countries. In the United States, it even comes out seductively entitled Pentagate, playing off of the legendary political scandal Watergate. Watergate involved in-depth investigations, while Pentagate is based solely on Thierry Meyssan's conspiracy theories. Flight 77, he wrote, never hit the Pentagon, it was a missile, which basically amounts to telling us that behind this crime against America is America. For this modus operandi, you just need a few people to execute the entire operation. Everything depends on the procedure. And again, we do not know. But if it truly was a missile that struck the Pentagon, it would not have required many accomplices. Just a few people, high-placed in the military, with the codes to activate the missile. It will take tremendous work to find out what really happened. For the moment, we are only at a stage of assumptions. But all assumptions lead us to believe that the terrorists were not foreigners, but Americans.
As long as we live, we will live with conspiracy theories about 9/11, just as we live with even more conspiracy theories about the Kennedy assassination. It's just not going to go away. It's a bit of an industry. There are people whose livelihood depends on conspiracy theory. They want to continue to write books and make videos and pay their bills. And so I say they're not going away, not because they have evidence of a conspiracy, but because they need it for their livelihoods, and for a lot of people it's just fun. It's an interesting way to spend time, to imagine what might have been. You know, the world of 24 and Jack Bauer, maybe it really exists and maybe that's what went on here.